What is going on? You are listening to Tags Podcast, aka Talk About Gay Sex Podcast, celebrating 6 years of podcasting. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm feeling spicy, darling.
You are spicy, as we just finished. By the way, this is episode 516, y'all. And we just wrapped up spicy, yes. Well, we literally just had some salsa.
We did. That's why. That was going to be my next statement because we had salsa. So now I'm feeling spicy.
Yes, and you're a little salty, too.
I'm always salty.
I love it.
Salty dog.
Well, we just ended the Vacaya cruise. I was going to say Vacaya cruise. It felt like we were on a cruise ship. The Mexico resort in Puerto Vallarta. We just wrapped it up literally today. And oh my gosh, how much fun was it?
It was great.
That's a little joke.
It's a little inside joke.
Yeah.
No, it was very... It was so, I met so many people. I made so many new friends. It was such a wonderful experience. I got to connect with so many people, including you.
Yes, absolutely.
We connected on, I feel like I'm closer to you now.
Yes.
Our brotherly bond. We are not dating, everybody, okay?
That was the joke on the trip, that everybody thought we were dating.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, even this morning, the photographer was asking... Because I had to film this thing for Vacaya that's going to be, it's part of their red light district, and it's going to go on a huge screen for the Caribbean cruise happening in early 2024. And to promote the red light district, they wanted to shoot a bunch of sexy video, and the whole rule was you can do whatever you want. I partnered up with Jet. Jet's Adventures. And can I tell you, I felt like it was the first time I think I've ever done simulated sex. We went a little further and did some oral, but on camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're a bona fide star, darling.
Well, exactly. And the thing about this guy, Jet, was he has an OnlyFans account.
Okay.
And we did some other filming that he would like to use, but apparently the way it works with OnlyFans is you have to get the consent of the other person, but in order to get that consent, they have to actually be on OnlyFans as well. So I think I might just have to join to give him consent. And then while I'm there, I might as well post my own stuff.
What's going to be your porn star name, babe?
I mean, I might still just go Steve V.
Yeah?
Do I have to have a porn
name recognition? I love it.
Yes.
I live.
Yes. Steve V, yeah. Just keep it consistent, I think, is the way to go. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, end of Vacaya. I know we did our live show on Wednesday, which went really well. Sidebar for some of you that were trying to hear us live that night.
Sorry, guys.
Had some technical difficulties. We were trying to get the whole live show together. It's out now. I'm sure many of you have heard it. But if you haven't seen it, you can also go to youtube.com/TAGSPODCAST and you can watch the full episode. So it was, we were a little nervous, but we got through it.
I was a lot nervous. I don't know. I was schwitzing. I was very wet in my shorts. It was also hot that day. Yeah, it was really, really hot. It wasn't from pee. It was from sweat, definitely.
You're right.
And I decided to wear leather shorts. Who wears leather shorts in 190-degree weather?
Exactly.
Wasn't a smart idea.
It was steamy, but it was a really great show. We're really happy about it. We've made some new friends during this entire week. Some really great friends from around the country. And I think that's one of the best parts about this is I feel like we have a new arsenal of really close friends that live in D.C., some live in Santa Barbara, all over the place. Yep. And what did you feel about the people you met?
That was my main takeaway from this was forging those connections. Shout out to Marie, Miguel, Rudy. Oh my God, I love Rudy. Gabriel. Shout out to Gabriel.
And what's his Instagram account?
Hollywood Bruisers. You guys have to follow
_Bruiser.
Hollywood _Bruisers because his photography is absolutely amazing. So shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Tommy Alexander, who we got really close with.
Yeah.
And it was just such an amazing experience. It was like gay summer camp. And now we're done with camp and I have all these new best friends. Sorry, babe. You're one of many best friends now.
No, I made some new friends. I made a lot of friends with couples, too. Oh. And had a little bit of fun with the couple contingent on... Right, which was really... I never thought I would be into couples that much, but I think the last night I had a little bit of fun with this... two guys that were, one of them I just thought he was really cute, and I thought, he's never going to play. Well, he asked me, how you doing last night? How you doing? And I opted to stay in, and you went out, which we're going to talk about in a second. Yeah. But I ended up having some fun with this couple, and
who are really hot. They're really hot, by the way. One of them, I told myself that he was my crush. And the other one was your crush, but they hit you up and you went over there.
I went over there. And the cool thing playing with the couple is they're very respectful, I feel, in many ways.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so they probably had their discussion prior to me coming over there, and they said exactly what they wanted to do. And so it was all laid out. I knocked on the door. It was lit. They had nice mood lighting on.
Oh.
They were, and
that sounds amazing.
Almost very respectful. Hot, but respectful at the same time. And when it was over with, I didn't want to linger on. And, I wasn't going to take a shower there.
When I came home, you were in the bed asleep already.
Fast asleep because we had to check out. And you, of course, were still out.
Last night.
What about
last night? It was wonderful. Me and a friend went out and we went to one bar and then another bar after that. And so we went to Studs first and then we went to Wet Dreams afterwards.
Explain to people what both of those are.
Okay, Studs is a leather bar in Puerto Vallarta, and it's basically like the Eagle of Puerto Vallarta, basically. So you hook up there, you go there dressed in leather. It's actually bears and leather, so it's a really good time, and the ambiance is amazing. I need for you to go back and buy me this tank top.
That's the 95th time you've told me, boo, and I will go get you that tank top if it's the last thing I do.
They didn't have my size, but I don't care anymore if it's my size or not because it is such an adorable tank top. Nobody buy my tank top, okay?
I love it.
Then we went to Wet Dreams. It was a strip bar where they get completely naked. They get underneath the shower hose, not the shower hose.
Oh yeah, they have like above the bar.
A shower, yes.
Yeah.
It's a shower and
naked,
wet, dripping wet, body yaddy yaddy. It was just stunning.
And if you're interested in them, you could actually go back for lap dances in the back, or as our friend did. Can you tell what? No, don't mention names.
I'm not mentioning names.
But what did he ask for? And can you, because that was a hot story.
So he asked for, so I went to go text someone, but there was no reception, right?
Right.
So I went to the front to go text someone. And when I came back to look for him, he was in the back room with a stripper, and he was fully getting ejaculated on in the back. And
wait, both of them were?
Both of them ejaculated, and I believe from what I understand of the story, the stripper came all over his face.
Oh, he was holding that load up for our friend. I know,
and from what I understand, it was buckets. So
wow,
good for our friend.
So for a fee, you can get whatever you want. Apparently,
the boyfriend experience. That's what it sounds like to me.
But you weren't about to pay that kind of money for.
It was a little bit much. So I declined the boyfriend experience.
Okay.
And we went to Spartacus afterwards,
which is
it's a spa. It's coined as a spa, but it's really just a hookup place.
Right.
4 floors of hooking up, hot men doing all of the nasty things of your dreams. And it's actually really beautiful. The only thing that was missing from the spa was the incense, basically.
Okay.
Otherwise, it was a a gorgeous spa. They had a jacuzzi, they had playrooms, they have all the things that you need in order to have a wonderful time in this space, including the hot guys. Can I tell you, the guys were so sexy there.
Wow. Well, and it was a Saturday night, so I could only imagine.
It was jam-packed, and I jam-packed a couple people.
Okay. Nice. Now, this is a sauna where you check your clothes, you're in a towel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you check your clothes at they give you a room key, a locker key.
Okay.
And you put all your clothes in the locker room, in the locker, and then you put on your towel and you walk around in the towel. So at first I put on the big towel, like, okay, I'm going to grandma's house.
Oh, got it.
And our friend was like, it told me, he said, no, you have to put on this little itty bitty towel. So I put on the little itty bitty towel.
Did it fit?
It barely fit. There were some things hanging out the bottom, but it's okay. Advertising is key.
Exactly. You don't want to be like in your father's, gym locker room with dragging a white towel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need it to be cute, tight, and right.
That's right. And I was cute, tight, and right. And the boys were lusting after me. I played with one guy. We went up. He followed me from room to room, and then we went to a secluded area and we played around, and then some other guys joined us, and then I said, okay guys, I'm gonna just explore a little bit more because I want to explore. And I went upstairs into the dark room,
right,
and I found this beautiful, just delicious and thick guy, and we just played around a little bit more, and it was great. It was a good time. I definitely got my life in that place.
And you found a guy too that you were interested in, but after seeing your goods, then he was really interested.
So this one gentleman, I was in his peripheral the entire night,
right,
because I was trying to. He's absolutely gorgeous, and I was kind of adjacent to where he was,
right,
and because I wanted to fuck him really bad,
right.
But he was playing with some other guys, and that was totally fine.
Yeah,
I'm not a jealous bitch. I'm a giving bitch. I actually gave my bottom to some other people the other.
Oh my god, Kodi shares.
I'm a sharer and a carer, and I'm a giver. Just so everybody knows, I am a giver. I am a top. I'm an aggressive top, and I feel like people don't know that I'm a top. So I think that might be why he didn't want to play with me at first. But then we went down and we were checking out, and he was checking out at the same time as me, and I took my towel off, and I was still rock hard even after I had came.
Wow.
Rock hard. And he said, so are you going to be here tomorrow night?
Wow. Is he seeing any of Puerto Vallarta or all at Spartacus?
Probably just Spartacus.
Got it.
Which is totally fine.
Totally fine, yes.
We don't judge.
Do you?
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we can't thank Vacaya enough for an amazing week here in Mexico. It wrapped up great. New friends. Highly recommend checking out their schedule for the upcoming year, the rest of the year, but actually 2024. A lot of trips are booked up, but there's a wait list and you can get on some of these trips. So
yeah, I highly recommend it. It is an amazing experience. You connect with so many different people in various different ways. So
absolutely.
If you ever want to go to gay adult summer camp and have sex sometimes, this is the place to be.
Exactly. Well, we have to get into some topics as we record this. We needed to talk about, sadly, shift gears here, because there is an Alabama mayor and a pastor that died by suicide after being involuntarily outed as a transgender woman. Smith Station's mayor, Bubba Copeland, he also served as a pastor of the First Baptist Church in Phoenix City, was sadly found dead Friday evening. Lee County Sheriff made this announcement. And besides his political and religious affiliations, Copeland was known locally for owning a small grocery store and apparently pretty beloved in the community. But a reporter actually shared screenshots from Copeland's now deleted Instagram and Reddit accounts where the mayor openly explored their transgender identity. Copeland also reportedly shared transgender-specific fiction and erotica that they authored, according to published reports. But he was essentially outed, right. And they were outed, thank you. And I know he gave an apology in one of his sermons, but it was weighing heavy on him, and people were really cruel. And I don't think he could handle it, and he took his own life. And it's just really sad to me to think that he had this other life. He wasn't harming anybody. In other words, this was just his other identity. He wasn't doing anybody any harm, but somebody leaked those photos of him, and they were relentless towards him. It was a conservative news organization that released it, and it was just really, I mean, my heart goes out to the community and his family, because we are so out and proud with our lives, but he didn't have that side. He had this, subtle other side.
And hidden.
Yeah.
I mean, they had this hidden side because there's no age for coming out and discovering yourself, basically. Right. We explore that in our new podcast, Of a Certain Age. And I think that this is something that is a teachable moment for everybody. You never know what anybody is going through. This person was trying to explore their sexual and I'm sorry, maybe not their sexual, but their gender identity, and it should not be anything that anyone is ever shamed for.
Right.
And I feel like the shame of having this pressure from their community is what led to this suicide, and it's really sad. Nobody should lose their life because they are just trying to discover who they are on the inside.
Yeah.
And
it's just sad that to reference who released these photos at 1819 News, put it out there against obviously his wishes and put it out there for the world to see, which people really came down hard on him and were disgusted. And it's just,
what's to be disgusted over?
Right.
I don't understand that part, because who are you to say how I can live my life?
Right.
That's not on anyone else to dictate how I live, what I do with my body, who I am as a person. That's for me to discover. That's what our whole journey in this life is, to explore who we are, our sexual identity, our gender identity, who we are culturally.
Right.
That should not be something that people should be ashamed of or shamed for. I think this is just ridiculous, and all of these people should take a good look at themselves.
Right.
And take stock of how they made this person so shameful that they took their own life.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It is. Ugh. Yeah. We had a whole week off of news, and then to see this, I'm like, okay.
It's really disheartening.
Yeah, it really is. Moving gears, California actually is issuing Mpox warning as new research points to how the virus is evolving. So Mpox has gone away apparently, but rates are increasing in one of the most gay-friendly states in the U.S., and research from the U.K. suggests the virus is evolving to become more infectious. Really? I know. I don't want to talk about this, but California's public health department says it's now seeing 17 new cases a week, up from less than 7 a week in August. And on October 30th, it issued an alert to healthcare providers to remain vigilant to Mpox. Well, back in the spring of 2022, cases of Mpox were very rare in the U.S. and Europe, but thousands of cases were diagnosed that year, and the vast majority were in gay and bisexual men. So it seems like it's coming back in many ways. I hope that, I hope, since we're both vaccinated, and many people are, do you think that we're going to have another round of them?
That's my first thought. Are we going to have to be vaccinated again?
The vaccine apparently reduces the risk of infection and significantly reduces the risk of severe disease, hospitalization, and death. And this is from the San Francisco Department of Health. quote, we encourage anyone who wants protection to complete the 2-dose vaccine series. It's never too late to get your second dose. But apparently the virus is evolving, according to science, by researchers from the University of Edinburgh. Before the outbreak in 2022, human cases were mainly due to animal transmission. But the explosion in human-to-human transmission, well, it's impacting the way the virus evolves. So I think we're doing good, at least if you're vaccinated, but it's interesting that we're seeing more cases. And it sounds like you can still get it even if you are. But I think all you can do is we can just keep up with this story. If you haven't gotten the Mpox vaccination, I would highly encourage anyone to get it. Of course, check in with your doctor first. But yeah, you got yours though.
Oh yeah, I have both doses, and I still am a little bit worried, honestly, because the virus is evolving thing, kind of puts a new spin on it. And when viruses evolve, that makes vaccinations a little bit less potent, or it just stops it from fighting you from getting whatever it is.
Right.
And it's happened all the time. So I think that the more that we learn, all that we can do is really just stay on top of it, like you said. So
yeah, it's interesting. After our show on Wednesday, we met a guy in the audience who was sharing he's had long-term syphilis. And it's affected his mobility, his speech. He has to walk with the cane. He actually wants to come on the show. And I said, yes, absolutely. So we're going to schedule him because his whole thing now is he was misdiagnosed for so many years. And he really believes, according to him, that in Canada, the doctors weren't really listening to him. Like he had symptoms, but every time they said they would do the normal test for syphilis and it wasn't showing up. And so, but turns out it wasn't showing any signs for so long. And then it came on strong. And now he's living with it, the repercussions not the repercussions, but he's living with long-term stages of what it's done to him. Yeah. So, I just think we say it all the time. I just think you have to be on your health game. You have to test more often than not. And I mean, I'm going to follow that rule for myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was talking to some medical health professionals this week.
Yes.
And they even say it was their advice that you are responsible for your health. So that is paramount. You have to make sure that you do the things that you need to do in order to make sure that you are healthy. If you don't like the diagnosis that one doctor gives you, then go see as many doctors as it takes for everything to be, all your ducks are in a row.
Right. Yeah. So, you have to be your own advocate for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are switching gears over to Kim Petras.
Oh, yeah.
Who's currently on tour, and I think we mentioned before, Jeremy, our other co-host, saw her in Massachusetts and said she was amazing. Well, she has gone on record to say she knows her LGBTQ fans are having sex during her concerts, and honestly, she's here for it. So,
do I need a ticket to Kim Petras' concert?
I mean, yeah. It's her current Feed the Beast tour, making its way through the U.S. before it hits Europe in 2024. And apparently it's really good. I mean, Jeremy gave us a really good review of it. She does do
He didn't say anything like this, though. I want to know.
He did not. We're going to have to re-ask him. But she said she knows that a lot of the gays are having sex at her concert. She thinks she performs better in more of a warehouse type of setting. It makes her music sounds better. And she's seen and heard that the gays are having sex in concert. And she takes credit for it too, which she's not, I think that's really,
thank you, mother.
It sounds, we keep talking about all these amazing LGBTQ artists that are on tour. They have these huge followings, and how this is so breakthrough to see them. But then we're really taking it to the next level of now you can have sex and hear your favorite artists. It does harken back to Bette Midler back in the day, where I mean, it's not that new. She played at the notorious bathhouses in New York City back in the day. And to men like you last night, have a towel wrapped around them and heard Bette Midler along with having your sex too. So I guess it's just now more of an arena type of venue now where people are having sex. But how do you feel about this? Would you have sex
in a heartbeat? I always have a sex playlist, and Kim Petras is on there. So, do you have a sex playlist?
I don't. I need to get a sex playlist.
Yeah,
can you share yours?
Yeah, I'll share mine with you.
Well, it's funny. You go ahead.
I mean, it's personal, so. But I mean, I feel like we would align as far as our sex playlist is concerned. But I would totally have sex at a Kim Petras concert. She's on my sex playlist. She is hot, number one, and I bet you that the gays that go to see her are very hot as well. So why not? If you're there and you are in a space to where you feel comfortable, then I say go for it, basically.
I mean, it's funny because on the Red Light District, which was on a boat, which we talked about on episode 515, I was asking Jet, who was running the music, I'm like, who's running the music? He's like, oh, it's just like, Spotify, I think, or SoundCloud. And he said all he did was search for techno, gay, sex.
Oh.
And found like a slew of mixes that were out there. So you can also do your own search and find sexy, hot, throbbing music that works. I mean, you don't want to hear Mariah Carey or, Celine Dion.
Anytime you need a friend.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, so you definitely need the music.
I mean, time and space, though, right?
Sure.
So I don't know. There's Mariah songs that I would have sex to, though. All? Oh my God. I would give my all to somebody during that song. Definitely.
Ooh, what's it called?
My All by Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay. All right. We found one.
Yeah. So. Come on. There's lots.
Well, Madonna apparently in her concert is singing Erotica or playing it. And
Erotica is a good song.
It's a good, yes.
Let's
absolutely.
Get unconscious, baby.
Oh, she does sing that song too.
Oh, that's Bedtime Story. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Bedtime Stories, she does sing that song. And so that's another good one. Talk about losing it in the moment.
Madonna has a lot of good sex songs.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
I think you could just make a sex playlist
with Madonna.
Madonna. I think that's your sex playlist.
Yeah. No, I would not make my partners have to go through an entire Madonna.
You know why? Because you would just be dancing the whole time.
I would be thinking about the music videos too much and reenacting them in my head that it would take me out of it. So I could maybe have one song and it would be Erotica because it's just that beat. And I would still be thinking about her running down that hallway in black and white.
Justify My Love. I was going to mention
another one.
That.
Oh, you're right. Justify My Love. Yeah. So you're right. I could maybe that song too. Erotica and Justify My Love.
Your whole playlist.
And then that's it. Madonna. No, that's it. We can't. It cannot all be Madonna. Because these boys are not, they have different variety of tastes.
It's true.
Yeah.
And you gotta play to the crowd, right?
You know who I would have on my playlist, actually, that you're going to be maybe surprised? Dixon Dallas.
Oh, the country singer song.
Yeah,
you would have that country song on your sex playlist.
I might because a friend of mine that I know in New York that I maybe mentioned on this show really likes country music, so I turned him on to Dixon Dallas,
and he likes him.
Now he loves it. He says he plays them all the time. Bouncing on this, he talks about, and riding this. I might have one Dixon Dallas song.
Am I judging? I think I'm judging. I told y'all I'm spicy today, but I can't see myself having sex to any of those songs. They're fun.
Yeah.
And one of them has a good beat, and it's good to snap your fingers to, but that's really it.
Okay. Well, we got to switch over to a topic we love, OnlyFans. And there is Miguel Guerrero. Was a professional soccer player for so long, he has actually switched and started an OnlyFans account, and I bet it's going to do really good. I show you his pictures,
holy shit,
he is so hot. he's 29, Spanish hottie. He is becoming a full-time OnlyFans creator, and he really thinks that he was on Temptation Island, and I think that's where he got his foray into the fans that really want to see more of him. So he's going to give it to him. For sure. He doesn't even mind saying he realizes most of his fans are gay men, and he's okay with it. So he's going to give specific content created and geared towards his fans. If you want something specific for him to do, he will actually consider it. I think he's doing it the right way, like being generous with his beauty.
He's doing a lot the right way, honestly.
Yes. I mean, he is so sexy.
That is a good-looking man.
That is a good-looking man. So I am here for Miguel Guerrero. It's so funny because we were talking about OnlyFans, and it seems like, are you here for... I was talking to somebody that said they were going to charge like $49.99, but they think they can really get it. And I think that's really good. Jeremy, our co-host, was saying, if you really want to make more money, you would charge like $4.99 or something like that. I think I would do $9.99.
Yeah.
I think.
It. No, I mean, for sure.
We'll see. I mean, it just, who knows? It's just for fun. But I think I said, because you have to sign up for this thing to give consent to somebody that wants to use this video that I have. So what would you charge? And what do you think about Miguel?
So I understand where Jeremy is coming from, because the less that you charge, the more people that will sign up for it, the more money that you would make. But I also understand the other side. So I feel
not devaluing yourself too, right?
Yes, exactly. Because I feel like the more people that can take in your content, the more your audience will grow, because they'll be, not sharing it, but more so consuming it. That was the word that I was looking for. But I also see the other side, where this person was just mentioning to us, where you charge way more. So I think
for a select crew of people,
I think if you are at a level to where you have a name recognition already, then I think it's a good idea to charge more, because you don't want your content everywhere, honestly.
No.
You only want a select few people to have your content and to really be able to have access to you in that way. I personally would want to go the route, if I ever made an OnlyFans, I think I would charge a lot of money once I got really, really, really famous, if I ever get really, really famous, because...
You are famous, darling.
Oh, darling, I got recognized in the Wet Dreams, darling. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, nice. Shout out to the guy that called you out at the Wet Dreams.
Yes.
Here in Puerto Vallarta.
Already reposted their picture. We took a picture together. So, yeah.
Do you remember his name?
I don't.
Okay.
Oh
you can look it up while
really quick. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yes.
No. It's interesting. The more we have conversations about OnlyFans and are learning that it really, because you can create whatever you want. There's, the old days of doing porn and the studio. Now you can just follow so many people, and football players like this hottie is doing his version of himself, and there's less shame in it. Remember when we had this conversation when OnlyFans was first coming out, and there was almost this sort of like side eye, like, I know what you're doing, and almost like a negative thought behind. Now it's like, it's really not that much. I mean, I'm not going to tell my mom I'm doing this, but
Mama doesn't need to know.
She doesn't need to know.
Exactly.
But I just think the shame of it is, people are much more open-minded about it, and you can do whatever you want. I have a friend that does OnlyFans, and he's not hard in it. I mean, he has a beautiful body. He's very handsome, and he does things like cooking in his kitchen naked, or maybe he's got an apron on and his ass is out there, and you can just get really creative with your content. So, and is something for everybody, I feel.
Oh, yes, 100%. I totally agree with you. So first, I have to shout out to Junior. That was the person that...
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Junior, how you doing? I saw you in Wet Dreams. We had a good old time in there. So thank you for that. And I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that your OnlyFans should be a reflection of who you are as a person. And I think that, this guy is really hot. I'm going to follow him for sure.
Nice. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
$49 or $9. I don't care.
Oh, hey. All right. Nice. And I'll update people if I get mine together, if I can muster up the nerve to do it. But we will move on to some advice that actually this one's coming from a Reddit thread where somebody actually posted this. Perhaps dating is not for me is the title of it. And they write, as much as I like a long-term partner for dating for the dating process has never worked for me. I just feel dating feels fake and like you're pretending to be something you're not. Maybe I am one of the many people who just don't like dating and never will. It's supposed to be enjoyable, but I find it stressful and never the best version of myself when doing it. Please tell me there are plenty of others who feel the same way. I can understand that dating can be stressful and the amount of prep time. And who was I talking to? We were talking to a couple of our friends that are not very sociable. They said this in their words. Now, we hang out with them and we hung out with them all week. But one of them was sharing with us that talking and having to have like long conversations with people, being sociable is what he was saying, is kind of a lot for this friend of ours because it can be energy draining at the end of the day to have to tell all about yourself and where you're from and all this stuff. And where we don't have problems with this because we do this on this show all the time. We overshare. Yeah, TMI is our middle name.
I mean, my whole diatribe in the beginning of the show was me oversharing. So I love you all. Thank you so much for listening to that. Yeah.
But I like a good date moment, though. If you really like somebody, I don't mind. I don't want to go on, dates galore. I want to find a couple people and then hone in on one person that I really like and spend time with that person. I kind of understand where this person's coming from, the amount of work, but do you also think get over it because how else are you going to get to meet somebody?
I honestly, my spiciness is coming through. I think they're doing it wrong, honestly. I think that they are focusing too much on being who the other person wants them to be.
Right.
Which is the wrong way to go on a date. You have to be yourself. I mean,
all those qualities
don't
you
fart
like
at the table.
Yeah. Right. Wash your hands.
Get gussied up. Look nice. But be yourself at the end of the day. Because if this other person doesn't like who you are, that's on them. And this is something that I have to learn for myself too, because you have to learn you have to stand in your own value.
Right.
So I think that as long as you know who you are and you present that your best self to this other person, you don't try to put on a front in order to get this date, then it's going to be less work. I think if you focus more on being yourself and also getting to know the other person, which is
being a good listener.
Exactly. That is the interesting part to me during a date. Getting to know somebody else and talking to somebody, finding out their story.
And it shouldn't be work because if you really were interested in that person, you want to hear interesting stories about that person.
Exactly.
So I find that really interesting. I also find with age that you learn more about who you are. So a date is about just being yourself, but honing in on those things that make you you that are interesting. So I actually like sharing, listening to that person, sharing, being my natural self. And I think my natural self can be funny at times.
You're super funny, not at times.
But I've
quite frequently.
I've had time to hone in on what makes me me.
Yeah.
And so it's not work, as this person is stating. It's more It's a chance, and because if I am going on a date with you, it's because I really am interested in you. So it's a time to just settle into all those best qualities that are me and just enjoy.
Yeah.
And see how this goes. And it's not that serious.
I totally agree with you. And I think that this person probably needs to do some work outside of the dating work. They need to do work on themselves, honestly. Yeah. Because who wants to be fake on a date? That's way too much.
Exactly.
It is way too much.
They're going to find out anyway later when you're...
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have I agree you should be your best self on the date, but like in 6 months, you are fully yourself after dating somebody for 6 months. So,
you are. Yeah. So hang in there. I know dating's not always easy, but you can do it. And like I love that advice too. Get to know yourself a little bit more so that you aren't stressed out when you go on these dates.
Yeah.
Just be you. Okay, well, that is all the time that we have today. Thanks for doing this a little bit earlier before you head out back home. I'm going to stay in Puerto Vallarta a little bit longer.
Lucky bitch.
I got my family coming, so excited about that. And, our brand new show, Of a Certain Age podcast, or as we say, OACA, Of a Certain Age OACA. OACA is out now wherever you get your podcast. We are dropping, hopefully, a new show this week. Some technical difficulties there, but we're going to try and get it out. But if you haven't heard it yet, we've got some great guests on there. The title says it all. Of a Certain Age is for our LGBTQ audience, and we're really excited about it. You can also follow it on Instagram, Of a Certain Age Pod, POD, Of a Certain Age Pod. You can follow Kodi. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching, or his personal account, which he was taking some sexy photos in the pool a little bit earlier today.
I have sexy photos on deck, everybody. So follow Mr. Maurice, everybody, because we got some sexy stuff coming up. We did a sexy photo shoot too.
We did. Those photos are coming out too. With shout out to Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, follow him as well at. We'll share that with you, but you'll see because we're going to tag him. Follow me on Instagram. I am _Steve V. And in the meantime, Kodi, continue having hot gay sex.